Welcome to Inspirational Journeys, everyone. My name is Ann Harrison. And before we get into today's topic, I have some exciting news to share with you. First of all, happy December. And I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and has a great, merry, and joyous Christmas season. But my news for today is that I won National Novel Writing Month. I won NaNoWriMo at the last minute yesterday. Yay! Okay, so popped out at 51,025 words. When I reached 50,030, I went ahead and updated to mark my win. And then I just kept right on going because I was working on a character Bible in step 7 of the Snowflake method, which will be covered later in a few weeks. But I was working on that, and I kept going with my word count just to see how far I could get before the day ended. And it was fun. It was like taking the downhill slide after you reach that finish line of a race. It's a race against the clock. So for this month, what have I done? I've set myself a personal goal, which I will keep track of in a text file that I have called NaNoWriMo Word Count Tracker, but I will keep track of it. And for the Snowflake method, my word count goal for the month of December is 20,000 words because I know there's a lot going on in December. I have a professional job to do, so I'm going to do a smaller amount so that I don't stress myself and all that. But I will tell you this much. The good part about it is that when I do these word counts, that's what keeps me motivated. So that's why I wanted to share that exciting news with you. That motivates me, and I can set smaller goals to get my work done. So if you didn't reach 50,000 words yesterday, that's okay. Congratulations. In my book, you're still a winner. If you did, congratulations to you too. For those of you who didn't know, whether you reached 50,000 words or not, you got more words in than you normally would have. So I advise you, if the word count goal, if racing against the clock is what keeps you motivated, then keep going. Set a new word count goal that you think you can reach and keep going. That's my advice to you for the day. Now, on to our topic. Today's topic is step 4 of the Snowflake method. Okay, so let's recap. You have your pre-planning questions that you ask yourself, your genre or category, what type of story you write, and why it will make your audience happy. I'm just paraphrasing here. I'm not looking at the document itself, okay? And then you do your one sentence summary and your one paragraph summary and your character summary sheets for each of your characters, your main characters, your primary characters, what I'm saying. Okay, so the next step after you've done those 3 is to expand your one paragraph summary into a 1-page synopsis. Now, before you get started, I just want you to know that this is going to help you determine where your story is going. It is not for anybody else to see. So if you go over a page, it's fine. If you go over the 500 words that Randy Ingermanson recommends, that's okay too. Just don't go too far over a page because we're going to get into more in depth in a future step. So just hang with me. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your one paragraph summary. I want you to take it and I want you to copy it into another page. You can do this on do a page break in a document that you already have, or you can do it on a separate sheet. But what I want you to do is I want you to take each sentence in your one paragraph summary, whether you have 5 sentences or 7 sentences, whatever, and expand that into a paragraph of its own. That way you can get in a few more details in each of your 3 acts. The details leading, your setting, your backstory, your main character, or maybe even 2, depending on what genre you write. And then you can expand on that, what leads up to the second act, and then expand on the first act, which is the inciting incident. Expand on that, what happens after that, and lead up to the second act, and so on and so forth. But each paragraph each sentence should be expanded into a paragraph. And if you're doing word counts, it's going to add up to your word count. Mine was 823 words. I'm going to be straight up honest with you, but it's okay. Now, do you have to write it double spaced or single spaced? It's up to you. It all depends on, I would do it single space. That's what Randy Ingermanson recommends as well. But if it makes it easier for you to read, then by all means double space it. Whatever is right for you. Randy Ingermanson recommends that you take up to an hour. My thing is take as much time or as little time as you need. If it takes you an hour, fine. If it takes you 20 minutes, fine. But just be sure to get that one-page summary in so that it kind of gives you an idea of where your story is going. So those are my tips and suggestions for step 4. I'm sorry, we did step 3 last week. For step 4 of the Snowflake method. Next week, we will talk about step 5, where we'll go back into a bit more character-related stuff. So I'm not going to tell you what the step is yet. I will let you wait and be surprised. And so stay tuned, because next week we're going to continue onward. Personally, I am on step 7 of the Snowflake method, and I'm having fun learning about my characters. I'll tell you more about that in a couple weeks. But for now, if you would like to follow along and you haven't downloaded it yet, there is a link in the show notes where you can download chapters 19 and 20 of How to Write a Novel Using the Snowflake Method in the show notes, in the description on the YouTube, and in the show notes in the podcast, so that you can download and follow along. Now, before I sign off and upload this, I want to remind you that if you like this video, if you're finding it helpful, if you enjoy it, what I really would like for you to do is to subscribe to the YouTube video, or to my YouTube channel, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss another episode of the podcast, another interview, or whatever content that I have up there. Hit that notification bell so you can be the first to know when I post new content. And for the podcast listeners, go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcast app of choice, because I'm on 9 platforms now through the Anchor website, because that's where I'm hosted on Anchor. But I'm on 9 platforms now, so to subscribe to Inspirational Journeys, Stories That Matter, on your favorite platform of choice. And tell your friends about it. Write a review. I may or may not see it. I'll have to go look and see if there are any reviews or ratings yet. But do write a review, because it helps others find me. And tell your friends, if you're really getting a lot of information out of this, if you're really enjoying what you hear and what you see, please tell your friends. Share it with other people. That's how you can help and support me. And there are links if you would like to support it, if you'd like to make a monetary donation to the podcast. There is a link where you can support it. So I do appreciate that. But do subscribe to the YouTube video and the podcast, and like the videos, rate the podcast, give it a review, and tell your friends. That's what I ask, and I hope to see you guys next week when we talk about step 5 of the Snowflake method. Thanks for listening and watching, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.